I've been doing video content in Arabic for about 7 years now, and the ad revenue has been very, very, very sucky. You know, the camel trade business hasn't found its way into online marketing yet, and so I decided to make my content in English in order to be able to feed my monkey and put fuel in my magic carpet. But I found myself in the face of a tougher competition. As we speak, only 2% of my audience reside in the USA, which means I'm gonna have to sacrifice a goat in the name of the YouTube algorithm gods, abandoning my faith in the one and only RN Jesus. And to add to my inconvenience, after sacrificing this goat, I'm gonna have to go back and reactivate my accounts on dating applications. Anyway, I decided that maybe the best way to do English content is by merging 2 or 3 games in the same time at the same review. That way, the search engines are going to pick up my videos easier, like you do with a prostitute that allow for multiple points of entry. I also decided that the games need to have some sort of thematic connection. Unlucky for me, 2 post-apocalyptic games have been released in the last month: Metro Exodus and FarCry New Dawn. I'm not saying that I'm a prophet or a messiah, that's for you to say, but I predicted how these games are going to be like exactly in my previous videos, and lo and behold, predictions correct word by word. But if someone as experienced as I am in the field, he or she can give the same predictions. However, I also said that these games are going to surprise me with specific qualities. And today we'll discuss these predictions specifically, just to show you how I'm always right! Anyway, my concern with regard to the first game, FarCry New Dawn, is both the predictability of what you can call the Ubisoft formula and the lack of variety and density that is expected from a post-apocalyptic story. These concerns, thankfully, were laid to rest, because they were all true. New Dawn followed the bloody Ubisoft formula to the letter. An open world filled with busy work, nothing particularly new in the quest structure, the usual attempt at creating a shocking Far Cry villain, and of course, the Liberate the Outpost extravaganza. The surprising thing is, the game was fun. None of these details actually mattered. The combat was fun, the upgrade system was fun, the guns were incredibly fun, especially the Sawblade launcher. When it comes to video games, fun trumps everything. New Dawn did actually surprise me in that regard, as I expected, which I know is a paradox, thank you very much, but that's exactly what I was looking forward to explore. That's why I was excited in the first place, about which I realize now that nobody gives a rat's ass. Anyway, the second game that I had expectations about was Metro. Metro Exodus is a beautiful but sad story about the lost struggle of humankind in times of nuclear fallout. At the same time, it's a strong legacy of one hero called Artyom. And it's a tough story to end, but they did it. And although I was excited about this game, I expected some elements will be missing, or at least executed less than perfectly. And that sadly was gameplay. Specifically gameplay element related to open world mechanics. Now, haphazardly adding an open world to a linear story is exactly like haphazardly having a boob job. It will definitely make you more popular among 13-year-old male viewers of PewDiePie, but you could end up also like the secretary from Arrested Development, disastrously inconsistent. Not only that, but the game was the source for the biggest corporate controversies of the year, at least so far, by getting in bed with the young and sexy Epic Game launcher, which is like any 20-year-old blonde college babe, doesn't contribute much in terms of quality or society standards of usefulness, but everybody wants to get inside anyways. The controversy around Epic Games is that they pay developers for publishing exclusivity. It's an inconvenience that we've accepted over the years, but it was always games by first-party developers. These are studios funded from the start by the publishers, which means the games would have never existed in the first place if it wasn't for the publisher or the platform holder. But in this case, these were games that were actually going to be published on all platforms, and now it's being held to ransom by Epic Games just to force you to download their game launcher. That's the equivalent of holding your kid to ransom at his nursery. It's just to force you to download a game launcher. Anyway, personally, I wouldn't want my kid back, so I'm free to not download the launcher. And that's my opinion about the thing. Anyway, I don't feel like ending this episode smoothly, but I have one last thing to say. If you actually didn't watch my video or subscribe to my channel, then
how am I not fine?
Someone like you.
I wish nothing but for